And I left my coffee out of my reach. Nothing better when you're out camping than that morning coffee. While it's raining a little bit, and most of us are still resting because of partying last night, staying up late. But after what happened with the task force presser last night, and after what I saw Senator Feinstein say that they're going to start withholding federal funds from states that don't require mandatory masking, I had had enough. Good morning, everyone. This will just be a quick one. It's my turn to fix breakfast this morning. They'll regret that, but we'll be doing it anyway. So I called this that COVID is partially another divide and conquer scheme. If you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of reasons why they're pushing this. Okay, yes, of course, to get us to get to the vaccine, to get to the mark. Also, to justify war with China, not saying that China doesn't deserve to have some definite problems because of this, but as I've said, this thing came from our country originally. We know that. Fauci sent it over to Wuhan and spent money illegally. He should be in jail for what he did. But at any rate, you notice that everything has been about dividing the people, right? It's been dividing us along political lines, dividing us along religious lines, dividing us along racial lines, dividing us along sexual lines. In every way they can, they want to divide us. And why? Because if we get together and we discuss our problems, we'll know that the elites, the powerful, are the ones that are causing us most of these problems. We've got enough problems with nature, but when these elites and these pedophiles and these politicians and these corporations get together, they don't want us to be a unified voice because we'll come after them. So they effectively have been dividing us for thousands of years. Well, this COVID thing is no different. When you put a mask on, you're separating yourself from other human beings, another form of division, to keep us separated. The masks don't work. We know that. I was an OR scrub tech when I was going through college. I know all about them. I was a CBR officer, NBC officer in the Army. I know all about it. There are other doctors that will back me up. Now, those who have investments in all of this, the vaccines and their positions in the New World Order or whatever is their motivation, they'll tell you otherwise, but they're lying to you. So one of the purposes is to separate us from each other, to separate us from other human beings. You see a mask, you can't read the facial expressions. You have a natural aversion to a person wearing a mask. It's a natural aversion. Think of Halloween. They're doing this to further divide us, to keep us from getting together, to keep men and women from getting together, to keep children afraid, to keep older people afraid. I get accosted all the time. I don't wear a mask. I go into a store and I get people that'll come up to me and say, "Put your mask on, put your mask on." I go, "No, I don't even have one." And they look at you like you're the enemy, not the people in D.C., not the people in the state capitol, not the people in these tyrannical health organizations, especially the national health people, the state health people. And it's amazing to me that the Republican governors and Trump are pushing this, because these people that are in the national and state health services in general, they're liberals. They're by and large Democrats. And they're listening to these people. They're listening to them. So whether wittingly or unwittingly, they're helping to bring about the demise of mankind. The Republican governors. A lot of them are in on this, I know. They've been told, I suspect that Abbott was told, for instance, that if he plays ball, they'll use their technology to bring his legs back. I'm just guessing, but I wouldn't doubt that he would sacrifice a lot of us so that he could get that back. We all lose something in our lives. And if we're willing to trade someone else's liberty and someone else's life for our own, we're bad. We're evil. Because Jesus said, what? No greater love hath a man than this, than to lay down his life for his fellow man. And that's not wearing a mask. Yeah, I could talk about Trump's presser yesterday. I finally went and looked at it. Frankly, I wanted to stick my finger down my throat. Actually, I didn't need to do that. I was gagging anyway. And I could talk about a lot of other things that are going on, but I'm out with the family camping, so I'm going to get back to it. I just wanted to tell you they're dividing us even more. And then it's going to come down to the vaccines, and it's dividing us even more. You know, if you're wearing a mask, then you're protected. Why are you wearing it if I'm not wearing one? I choose not to. If I don't want a vaccine, that's my problem. I'll get sick. But if you have a vaccine, you're protected. What's the problem? It's about division, ladies and gentlemen. It's about obedience to the elites, to the establishment, to the traitors, to the communists, to the Marxists, to the Maoists, etc., and dividing us against each other. It's another method. Just think about that. I might be on tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe a short thing like this morning. Probably not a formal, because I don't even know if I could keep the signal here or have enough power to power my computer up. So I'll just leave the air with that. You've got to resist this thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's partly it's falling into part of the design to destroy relationships amongst us, amongst the people. It's designed as a form of genocide. Artificial hatred that turns into real hatred. Fear. I won't stand for it. I'd rather go out in the desert and die, just lay down and die, than to put up with this shit. Of course, that's what they would rather prefer, right? Well, that brings up another question before I go. GG Sims on Twitter, Rich Higgins, Nancy Morganhart, several others have said, we're really at the point where voting doesn't work anymore. I mean, a lot of you people, not you necessarily, but a lot of the people put their trust in Trump, and now, rather than demanding he do the job he agreed to do, they give him every excuse not to. So what good is he? And I just put that up on a tweet and on my community posts. What it's coming down to is that we have to separate ourselves from the establishment. We have to start taking care of ourselves. Everything, defense and everything. Let Antifa go ahead and take the likes of Feinstein out. Well, they'll attack her eventually. They always do. So you just take care of yourself, all right? And make those alliances that I said. Don't wear your masks with your friends when you're doing your parties and your plans and all of that. Don't do that. We're on our own, and the only thing I'm sorry to say, we're going down this road, and there's no turning back. Whether Trump is elected again or not, it's going to happen. He might be taken out as an assassination, but don't think that at that point that somehow he really was against them. No, that just serves their purposes. They kill their own all the time. Don't fall for that. But it's really coming down to the point where, we might really have to stand up and take this country back by force. I heard a little bit of Alex Jones yesterday. I couldn't listen to all of it because I didn't want to take out my data. But he was pretty upset, and rightly so. I've been sounding that alarm for a long time. This is it. It's like I said back in March when they first hit us with this thing. I said, they've got us by the short hairs now. Why would they let us off? Why would they give us back our time? No, they're not going to. It's going to get worse. Alaska got hit with a 7.8, huh? Wow. Any truth to the asteroid belt? I don't know. I'm not an astronomer. I see a lot of people that are talking about it. It wouldn't surprise me. You remember one of the things that talks about the Antichrist is that he will call down fire from heaven and other miraculous things. Well, he could be like the ancient priests back in the days of the Mayans, who knew an eclipse was coming because they had studied it. They were the priest class. They had nothing on their hands but time, because the people were the ones that were slaving to feed them. So they figured out the stars and the eclipses and all that. And so they would have these these religious ceremonies at the time that the eclipses happen. Well, we're a little bit too far advanced to use that on us. So what will they use? An asteroid belt that they know is coming, a group of asteroids that'll fall from the sky, and he'll claim that he commanded fire to come down from the sky. It wouldn't surprise me one little bit. Okay, I'm going to get going. I want to be with family today, and it's going to be for another few days yet. So I'll be out here. Just think about what I've talked about this morning. The mask is another way to divide us, to make us fear each other, to break down human relationships, the relationship between men and women. I had enough trouble meeting women, and now everybody's wearing a mask, right? Don't think that this isn't by design and for the reasons I've just said. Yeah, it could be missiles too, Marcus. Yeah, sure. Marcus Aurelius. I think that's supposed to be Marcus Aurelius, but maybe you change the name a little bit just so that we know it's really not Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, right? Yeah, it could be missiles too. Yeah, certainly. Either way. Okay, we'll take care of things here. Hopefully, you take care of things there. Get yourself ready. Yeah, master virtue signaling, but it's also a form of obedience and submission. And again, breakdown of human relationships. Okay, we'll see you later out here.